Hello to all Inderes TV viewers and listeners. Oriola reported their Q3 earnings today, as well as an updated strategy and financial targets, and we will discuss those with CEO Katarina Gabrielson. Hi, Katarina.
Hi, Rauli.
Yeah, so you have announced quite a lot of things in the past few weeks, so let's start from the first one of that, which was the divestment of the Swedish dose dispensing business a few weeks ago. So can you open up a bit of the rationale on that and the financial impacts that it will have or has had on Oriola?
Absolutely, and like you have announced in the last year, we have lost patients in the dose dispensing business. So we have like an all-time low on that business with patients around 4% of the Swedish market. And that means, of course, that when we have then looked at the strategy parts, we have not seen like a fast recovery in that business. So we now had the opportunity to find a way of like getting a solid foundation for the dose business in Apotekstjänst as a buyer, and they will take care of that business, and we will then focus on our main business. And also, what we then said is that if you look at the figures for today, you can see that if we take excluding Svensk dos from our EBIT line, then we are like growing quite well this year.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get back to that, but first the new strategy you also announced today. Can you open up the main parts of that? Where is the company focusing or going from here?
You can say that to some extent we have already started the strategy because we are of course saying now that we should focus on distribution businesses with pharmaceuticals, and that's one part of it, and that's something that is very much our core and has been our core for quite a while. And then we will grow the wholesale business, and wholesale is then the traded goods, OTC business, as well as advisory services. And that is also businesses that we have had before with a higher margin, but also higher growth potential than in the distribution business.
Yeah. And with the divestment of the Swedish dose business and the strategy renewal, is the Finnish dose dispensing business, which you still have, is that now kind of non-core, or are there any other?
It's still an important because in the strategy we also can say about this like trends that is in the market. And one trend is aging population and also health and well-being. And if you look for aging population, we know that the dose dispensing business is really important for both society and the patients. And the market dynamics in Finland is different. Yeah. So it's not because of like that we don't believe in the business that we are exiting Sweden. It's more like the market dynamics that makes it hard to do the business there right now.
Yeah, and with the new strategy, is there any other businesses or areas at the moment in Oriola which would be kind of non-core or outside the strategy?
I will say that all of the businesses that we have now is in the strategy, as I see it. So it's like I don't see anything that is like not inside the strategy.
That's clear. Then, like you mentioned, you have actually, excluding the Swedish dose decline of earnings, you have actually improved quite a lot this year. Can you open up a bit what has been driving that improvement?
Overall, I would say that the EBIT improvement is around 30% this year on the other businesses, so it's quite a lot. And I will say all businesses has improved. We also said it just before here in the webcast, and I don't see any businesses who has like declined and that. The main reason is also about efficiency. We have still continued with the efficiency improvements that we had last year, especially in Sweden, and also then increased prices on customer contracts and also got new customer contracts. So that's what we see now the effect of.
Yeah, okay. Then you came out also with the new financial targets today. You can maybe say some highlights on that, but especially I think the margin target, which is a new one got my attention at a fairly high level compared to where you have been. So if you can at least talk a bit about how do you see achieving that 3% you had there?
It's a little bit what I said in the beginning here. We have like the pharmaceutical distribution where we can see like if doing efficiency improvements, we are like going to be on a good level on that compared to like market peers. Then we have the wholesale segments that is then on a higher market, like higher EBIT level than the pharmaceutical wholesale, and that's above 3%. And then of course advisory services, that is then more like a consulting business to some extent. That should then be on even higher level. And since the two last ones is the one that we should then have growing more than the market, it's like also then telling the story in these cases.
Yeah, and you mentioned in the webcast just now that the time frame should be more than 3 years,
more than
less
3
than
years,
10,
but less
so
than 10, exactly.
Five plus, I guess,
yeah.
from that. Yeah.
Of course, it will take some time to get all the growth, but we have that. We will reach it. I'm quite confident on that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's then go also to the Q3 numbers a bit. How you would summarize those, and what were the highlights of that?
I think it was a solid quarter. If we exclude dose dispensing business for Sweden, like we said here before, the profitability and also the invoicing and net sales is on a higher level than last quarter and last year. So in that aspect, then of course we have burdened by the Swedish krona. So if we like, but if we go for constant currency, we can see that, and also the dose part.
So it was fairly in line with
fairly in line,
expectations. Yeah. And then you changed the guidance a bit already a few weeks ago with this divestment news that you are now expecting this year's earnings without the dose dispensing to be at last year's levels. So from the numbers you can calculate out that requires some improvement from Q3 to Q4. So
yes.
what's actually driving that?
But we can see that we continue with delivering what we have done, and of course, when we go for the governance and estimate, we take into calculation what we know about the businesses and so on, and costs, and then we end up in this situation. So for us, it's more like continuing what we have done, and Q4 is also normally a more strong quarter. Than the other quarters. Not last year, I know that, because that might be the next question that you have. But if you go further back, the seasonality is there.
Yeah. But then if you look at your original guidance, including the dose dispensing, it actually seems that you are not able to reach that. So what has been the disappointment? Has it been only the dose dispensing business?
Dose dispensing
itself,
is one, of course, but also I can say if in that one also this weak Swedish krona, because the constant currency is like then on another level. In these cases.
Sure, exactly. Okay. Thank you, Katarina.
Thank
Good
you.
luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.